Somebody asks about polyamory. Isn't polyamory a good option, considering if people live forever, they get bored with just one sexual partner? Variety is the spice of eternal life. Well, you can't just assume that everyone would get bored with just one sexual partner. I know it could seem that way. You might think that everyone would get bored, but that is not the case. And, it's not necessarily the case. Have you been with just one person forever? Do you know that you would get bored? I think that anything other than one sexual partner is in the realm of gross and it's degenerate. You're exposing yourself to that much more risk as far as STDs. Also, you have to think of relationships as being an investment, right? And what a waste to just spend all this time with a person and then just to have that relationship end. You have to ask, what's the point? This is why I think the only kind of relationship that really makes sense is eternal monogamy. A monogamous relationship that would never end. And anything less than that, think of it like that quote from Bender in Futurama, where he said, anything less than immortality is a waste of time, right? Try to apply this concept that Bender is trying to explain. Apply this to your relationship. So anything less than an eternal relationship is a waste of time. What's the point? What's the point of investing all this time and energy learning somebody, learning the intricacies of their inner thoughts, their inner universe, and just to have that relationship be severed, and then what? And then having to learn another person that deeply. And as far as the boredom aspects, like sexual boredom, really, I just don't see that as being an issue. Maybe with some people, if they're have this addictive personality and they're very just kind of hedonistic and always wanting more and more and more, and they're never kind of satisfied. Maybe with that type of personality, then this could be a problem, just being with one person. But if that's the type of person you are, then I would say correct that, because that is a flaw, in my opinion. To be so, hedonistically greedy that you would need to be with more than one person to satisfy some sort of sexual lust and fetish that you have for a variety of people, that is a flaw that you should try to fix rather than indulge that kind of desire, right? I think that's the problem, is don't be that kind of person, fix who you are. And if you are this type of person that feels like you need to have more than one sexual partner to be satisfied, then I would recommend, get married with just one person, okay? Tell this to them beforehand. Tell them that you're this type of person, and see if they would be okay if you were to indulge this desire for, variety in a virtual environment, right? So with virtual partners, not real, stick with one person in the physical world, but then indulge your lust for variety of sexual partners in a virtual setting with virtual partners in the future. Or sex robots. It would be far preferable to stick with one person physically, sexually, be sexually intimate with just one person in the real world, and then anything beyond that should be either sex bots or virtual reality types of sexual experiences, but they would be fake. They would be, I don't count sex bots and virtual reality sexual experiences as real sexual experiences. So I would pass that by your partner, the person you marry, and see if they would be okay with that. If you were to do that, that would be much better than actually being promiscuous and actually having multiple relationships, because you're just opening yourself up to a big risk with STDs and everything like that. Not worth it. Not to mention, if there was a hypothetical God, it's possible, and you have to take this into consideration, that the hypothetical God would frown upon this kind of behavior of having multiple sexual partners. This might be something you'd be judged for. This might be something literally that you would have your eternal life privileges revoked just because you are this kind of hedonistic, sexual, gross person wanting multiple partners. If you actually indulged in that, if there was a hypothetical God, you could actually be judged for that. So you should consider that as well. Of course, we wouldn't know the rules of the hypothetical God. What I'm doing here is I'm just guessing. I'm just putting forth a hypothesis for you to consider, and it's possible. Therefore, you would want to prepare for the possibility that those would be the rules, that you would be judged for having more than one sexual partner. Even though we don't know, but it's still worth preparing for. Okay.
Even you can be caught unawares. So prepare for a chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news. A shining new era is tiptoeing nearer. And where do we feature? Just listen to teacher. I know it sounds sordid, but you'll be rewarded when at last I am given my dues. And injustice deliciously squared. Be